Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah,
Good morning, sir.
good morning. You can turn on your videos. This session about the way in which you have to present your paper. This is a repetition. It has been told to you repeatedly, but since many of you are not following it, I am saying this again so that you remember. Some of you do not follow it because you missed my sessions. You came late or you did not attend. So now that many of you are present, but not all of you, I shall repeat what I had already instructed you about the way in which the paper, English paper, should be presented in order to boost your performance, okay, of the presentation so that you do not lose marks because of silly mistakes. Okay, so the presentation should be neat. Okay, it should the examiner should be able to judge by the way you present that you are a very good student. So that is the purpose. So please keep all that I am saying in mind and follow it in the examination which you are going to write today. So you have got part A and part B. Okay, that has to be written there. You have to write it. So that you are making the work of the examiner easy. If you make the work of the examiner difficult, you will not get marks. We get offended. We get angry when we correct your papers. I'm telling you the feelings. Okay, we say sometimes, not sometimes, very often, by the way you have written, stupid, idiot, good for nothing and all we say. Not only here, it happens in the board examination much more. Okay, now I know that you are my student. I am very patient and I am telling you all the corrections and the way in which you have to make changes. But there is nobody to recommend for you in the board examination. It is in the hands of the external examiner. If he decides to cut your marks, that's all. Even if you deserve a full mark, you will not be able to get it. Besides, please listen. In English, we can always give reason for cutting down the marks. This year we have got objectives. So in the first part A, there is no excuse. We cannot cut down the marks if you write the correct answer. But in part B, descriptive type of question, we can cut down the marks in the name of handwriting, in the name of poor performance, in the name of spelling mistakes, grammar mistake, handwriting, winding, twisting, turning, overwriting. For all that, we can cut half a mark. So that is why I am telling you, for English especially, the presentation is very, very important. Please follow it without fail. Okay. Now I am telling you, and I am also trying to put this in the YouTube channel so that those who missed the class can see it. Okay. First, you write it. Please remember to use the exam paper. Okay. Please remember to use the exam paper. If you use the exam paper, you will be able to improve the performance. Don't use any diary or notebook. Okay, you can use long size notebook, but I don't advise it. I don't advise it because it spoils your performance when you go for the examination. As much as possible, you use the exam paper. For exam paper, you can ring up to your coordinators and find out and say your problem. If not for this examination, at least for the next examination, you should be using the exam paper. Okay. Yeah. Now let me start. You have to start first writing the section. Please do not start from section B. Always start from section A in the correct sequence. Do not go to fifth question and then you come to first question. Or 10th question, go to 7th and 9th and 12th, 39th, 40th question. Don't mix it up. If you mix it up, I can tell you, guarantee you, you are going to lose terribly. You are going to lose your marks terribly because when we correct your paper, the answers are registered in our mind. Okay, we do not read the question every time. We don't need your question. The questions are already registered in the mind. Once we correct one or two papers, everything is registered and we put the tick mark. Suppose you have written in a wrong sequence, that is wrong for the examiner. That is wrong for the examiner. Okay, after that you cannot claim I wrote it here. The question number is here, so you have to give marks. So that is a difficult thing. Okay, in the board examination and all, if you do so, it is very difficult for you to get good marks. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay, first you write here part A. In the center, you can write and underline it. Okay, then in section A, you have got 40 objective type questions. So what you have to do, first you put the question number here. Question number in the margin, not inside the margin. Question number should always be written inside the margin. Don't write it inside the page. Okay, so this is the main question number. Main question number, you write it at the edge here. Okay, after that, you have got to write the question number, sub question number and the option number. You have got sub question number and the option number. The sub question number should be written inside the margin. For example, it can be Roman letter. Okay, Roman letter 1. For example, it can be Roman letter 1. It has to be written inside the margin. And the option should be written inside the page. For example, D. This has to be the way in which you have to present part A for all the 40 questions. Okay, this has to be the way in which you have to write. And after that, you write the answers. Just you have to write the option and then you have to also write the answer. You cannot just put the option number and leave it. You have to write the option. For example, let's keep the option is Chennai. Whatever. Hmm? You have to write both the option number and the answer. Okay. Option number and the answer. I am repeating this because some students don't follow it. This time, if you do not follow it, I am not going to show any grace. If you have written ABCD for all the 40 questions, you will lose all the 40 marks. I will cut. I have no problem. Afterwards, you cry and whatever you want to do, you do it. I have no objection. So, this is the way in which you have to present. After that, the second thing that you have to keep in mind, after each answer, leave a line. After each answer, you must leave a line. You do not need to draw a line. You have to leave a line. Okay, what does it mean? You can draw the line after completing the examination if there is time. That is why you are leaving a line. Okay, but another thing is that you are leaving a line in order to make it easier for the examiner to check, to read your answer. Okay, without leaving the line, if you write, then it doesn't look nice. Okay, the performance is made worse than. Okay, so you go to the second question. Question number 2. You are leaving a line here and you are going to question number 2. And you have got option. Option may be A. Okay, and you write. For example, this is the answer. Okay. You have to write it like this for all the 40 questions part A. Okay, there is no grace mark in the part A. There is no grace mark. If it is wrong, it is wrong. Right? It is right. Okay. So only one correct answer is there. You cannot say, sir, this is also related. This is also correct answer. So can you give half a mark? There is no half a mark at all here. If it is right, if it is right, if it is right, it is right. If it is wrong, it is wrong. So please follow it for all the 40 questions. Okay, leave a line after each correct answer. This is the way in which you have to write part A. Okay. Then let us go to part B. Part B. Underline it. Maybe the question is question number 2. Okay. Question number 2, it can be notice writing or advertisement. You can write here if it is notice, notice. But it is not mandatory. You can write. It is better if you write so that we know that you have written notice and not advertisement. Okay, then there is also a sub question A and B. Okay, suppose you are choosing B. Okay, instead of A, you are choosing B. B is notice writing. Let us take. You write B. Okay, in the margin you should write. You should not write inside the page. Okay, you put this here and then you can start writing from inside the page. Do not write R and write B. Do not write R, okay? And then you write B. Some of you think since you have chosen the option B, it is the you have to write R, okay? You have to write R and then you write by. Don't write like that. Don't write R and then write this B, okay? So that has to be followed for question number 2. 3. Okay, there are 3 marks questions. It can be one is notice writing and advertisement, another one is invitations. You have to learn. Question number 3. Question number 4 is letter writing. Okay, for letter writing also, you have got the same way in which you have to follow the same methodology. Okay, maybe the letter writing is question number 4. Okay, and write it in the margin and write A, write the remaining. So this is the way in which you have to do for all the questions from the beginning till the end. Do not start with the last question. Some of you think that you can start with the last question and go. For example, there are 19 questions. You start from 19, 18, 17, 16. That will irritate. You start from question number 1 always. Okay. Always you start from question number 1. See, for the board examination, you are going to have reading time. 15 minutes of reading time. 15 minutes of reading time. So during that 15 minutes, you cannot write. You are not supposed to write. If you write, then you will be punished. So during that 15 minutes of time, you know what you have to do? You have to read. During those 15 minutes, you have to read. So in 15 minutes, if you read the first passage, okay, so in another 10 minutes or 5 minutes, you can finish up one passage. Okay, suppose the passage is very easy. In 15 minutes, you can finish up reading both the passages. So that is why you save time if you start with the section 1 reading. Okay, if you start with the reading, you save time. You do not waste time. Okay, so please keep that in mind and follow it from today's examination, which you are going to write today. You have to follow whatever guidelines which I have given you. Any doubt, any question with regard to the way in which you have to present the paper? Any question? Any question, any doubt? Please respond.
No doubt, sir.
Okay, only Sanjay Balaji is saying.
No, sir.